My first question to you is what attracted you to the role of Greta?
She's just a weird, strange little person, and you really can't quite figure her out for a while. And she just kind of exists in her own world. And the world of Dead Ringers is already so strange and dysfunctional and, specific. And uh, then within this dysfunctional world, you have this person who kind of is then in her own world. So she's just so like on the fringes of sanity, I feel like. Um, but yeah, I think she's very interesting. I think like there is most of the iceberg is underwater with Greta, and you just get the very tippy top of it. So I think there was a lot to unearth with her.
Yeah, that said, there's an episode where the Mantle family is having a discussion with Genevieve, and about acting, where she says, if I had to become someone else, I would lose my sense of self. What do you do to ensure that your characters you play don't consume Poppy the person?
That's such a good question. I think there's always a little bit of osmosis that happens a bit. Because I feel like my starting point with any character is like always myself first of like where's the Venn diagram overlap between me and this person? And like that's always the starting point of it. Um, so yeah, but you know, I think I try to have like sort of entry points and then exit points for them. Like, one of my favorite entry points is like I'll make a playlist for every character that I am, or like they'll have their own scent, like their own like perfume scent with Greta was like Black Orchid. And then like the playlist, it was like 3 hours of sort of like, Coco Rosie, Duran Gray mixed with like opera, like Puccini and so like I kind of create a little world around that character. And then it does feel important to be able to like come back into my own self. And it's not, I don't even think it's just for actors. I think it's like for anybody, like, and I'm speaking as someone who like maybe has like codependent tendencies. That's TMI. That's between me and my therapist. But anyways, it's something I'm actively working through. So it is on my mind. But like, I think there's parts of us that rub off on each other just in relationships and people that we are around a lot. Um, so I feel like it's an important practice of self-preservation to like know where you start and where you end. And like to be able to step into someone else and also step back into yourself too.
Last question to you is what's something you learned about yourself, Poppy, while in the role of Greta?
Think I learned, maybe I knew this already, but it really drove it home. I was like, there are some dark and freaky sides of myself. I was like, I can really go there, huh? Like Greta will go there in a way that Poppy would never go to that extent. But yeah, I think there are like definitely like shadow sides of myself. Again, I didn't learn this, but it really kind of highlighted it. I was like, we all have just so many unresolved mommy issues, which I feel like Greta has so many of, and she projects all around her in so many different ways, in kind of like maladapted ways, perhaps. Um, and also that like, we all have very strange methods of coping. Which I ultimately think is like what drives Greta. Like it looks like she's doing some weird things, but also like I think she's really just coping.